MAGA politicians are cheering for war, repeating the same tired neocon script after Israel's batshit crazy attack on Iran. This is a completely Zionist-occupied country. Israel murdered multiple children in Iran, and now we're on the verge of another regional war where countless people will die and humanity will suffer. But notice how Lindsey Graham is treating this like a game. That's how the ruling class always viewed war. The peasants' lives mean nothing. They are just pieces on the chessboard to be easily discarded. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Republican Party, and Donald Trump told you guys to get in the box and die, fighting another Israeli war and fighting for the Zionist project. Don't forget that there's a war coming against China over Taiwan as well. And Donald Trump failed to achieve peace in Ukraine as Europe essentially declares war against Russia. The world is about to be plunged into never-ending war because of our psychotic, criminal ruling class. Our Zionist-controlled ruling class is going to destroy society because they are obsessed with never-ending war. There is not enough anger at these psychopaths right now.
What's poppin', my friends, my family? I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Welcome back to RBN Weekend Live, Saturday Live. You already know I had a banger prepared for you guys. I had to bring my hotspot brother. I was here the other day with my brother JB. I had a lot to say about this issue. So you guys know, I'm always in the lab cooking. I had to call my brother, Niko House, who is also always in the lab cooking himself. When everything was going on with Iran, we had a huddle at the hotspot family. We were like, hey, yo, we need to catch this. And we were like, hey, yo, we all about to talk about this 100%, but let's talk about this in different angles. Let's huddle up. Let's talk about how we're going to destroy the Western narrative. Man, I think we're on fire at hotspot, man. What's poppin'? You already know I had to call my homie Niko House to join me today, man. What's poppin', y'all?
Hey, man, what's going on? Iran got me so hyped, bro. I had to put on a nice jacket, bro. I had to throw on a blazer to talk today. I had to pay some respects to Iran because they out there holding it down for game. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, there we go. And between me, you, and David, we cover so much content on Hotspot, and there were so many different layers to cover. I was just basking in the glory, and I was greatly enjoying this weekend because I know it may be fleeting, guys, but for a very brief moment, humanity is united behind Iran. The amount of joy and jubilation, finally seeing Tel Aviv and Israelis being smacked and humbled in the mouth.
Bruh. Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
I was like, hold up. Did they just say Tel Aviv? Damn, what happened to the the Iron Dome intercepted? No, none of that. Oh.
The Iron Dome was completely exposed.
Photo-like paper. I need a refund. I mean, y'all use my taxes without asking me anyway. Y'all use my taxes without asking me. But damn, if you're going to use my taxes without asking me to fund this defense system specifically against this country, because that was really what it was about, right? That's what they've been telling us. And like, y'all crumbled that quick. Like, it crumbled that fast. And we said, actually, that what was important about the last attack, that a retaliatory strike, rather, that Iran did, was that we knew it was going to take forever for Israel to rearm. Because they had to rearm, they have to get the weapons and money from us,
right?
And there's a schedule, right? There's legislation that gotta get passed. They have to then build the missiles. They gotta make. How you gonna get the weapons over there? It's a fucking blockade. Yeah, remember? Yeah, Yemen holding it down still, and now you're seeing the results of Yemen still holding it down. They could not rearm, and Netanyahu. If I was Israeli, first of all, I would be like, yeah, you need to bring your ass back here. I would be waiting for Netanyahu at the airport. I'm not going to say what I would do when he got there, but that man's hanging out in Greece. He literally set this bitch off. He lit a match, set the world on fire, flew to Greece, made sure he landed before all the strikes that Israel took against Iran.
Hiding in a bunker like a little bitch. Little bunker ass bitch. So you destroyed their country, sir. Like, bro. Before you started your genocidal wars, no one in the international community was talking about a Palestinian state. You had people that was boycotting Israel. You have people that like, man, I think we're probably going too far with BDS. Now everyone's like, BDS, boycott Israel, down with Israel, two-state solution. Benjamin Netanyahu led his people down a path to war. He failed his people. Now he flew to Greece, hiding in a bunker like a little bitch.
Hang on, hide in the bunker in another country. That's wild. Like, you know how much we be going on Donald Trump, bruh. But like, when Donald Trump attacked Syria, he didn't like run to Colombia. The first time he was president, he didn't like run to Colombia after he attacked Syria under Bashar al-Assad. Like, at least he stood down and held. You know, he stayed in the United States and held it down. This man Netanyahu dipped out. Dipped out, bro. And what's even crazier is, once again, we have to remember this all within the context of the fact that Netanyahu was undergoing criminal or corruption, rather, hearings in Israel. So now, because of these attacks, guess what will be further postponed? Now, because of these attacks, guess what election will be further postponed?
Exactly.
He know what he's doing, bro.
And a lot of these Israelis, they're too dumb. They don't even fucking realize what Netanyahu was doing. They've been protesting this motherfucker for 2 years, but they're so bloodthirsty, Niko.
They still don't even,
They're so bloodthirsty.
They don't even know what they're protesting about.
They can't help them. They can't help him. So they're like, man, we fucking hate Netanyahu. He's so corrupt. He's ruining our society. But damn, man, we really want to kill some more Palestinians. We really want to.
That's what be, bro. That's what be killing me. That's one of the things. That's like, it's like the paradox of watching the whole Israel situation go down. Cause we talk about this all the time. We're like, okay, like you're gonna believe the news from the same organizations that have been lying from you, the same journalists that have been lying to you for years, or believe this president who's been lying to you, or believe these these officials. But in Netanyahu's case, he's like one of the, if not the most unpopular president in Israel's history, right? They know how much of a corrupt liar he is. They know how much he's willing to do to save his own ass. There was even questions about the last election that he won. They don't even know if he actually won that election, let alone won it handedly to the point where he had a mandate to do everything he's doing right now. So you know he's a liar, right? He just admitted the other day, Nick, yeah, we're actually funding counter groups and counter militia groups in Gaza. Yeah, he admitted. He said, "What do you want to leak? The fact that I'm funding counter militia groups?" Hold up, what? Because I didn't even know until he said that shit. I didn't even know. I'm like, this motherfucker just admit that he's funding other, like basically what would probably be, knowing Israel, a terrorist organization to combat Hamas. And y'all are okay with that because y'all also found out he was funding Hamas, and y'all still like y'all didn't hear that. Then he launches attacks against Iran the first time. Or he attacked, the Iranian officials, which led to strikes in Israel again. And like, y'all continuously and constantly pay the price for a man who is lying to you. So whenever we're talking about the situation in Gaza, why would you believe anything he has to say? Anything. Like, I'll be like, look, man, you can even not like Palestinians, okay? You can have a little implicit racial bias, whatever, okay? But like, you want to die for that implicit racial bias because of Netanyahu? Because that's what's about to happen. Like, Israel's this close to being wiped off the face of the planet because the people who don't like this man are supporting everything that he does. Please make it make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And people like Donald Trump is going down as a historical fool. Someone played by Netanyahu, thought he could play some sort of fighting chess. But we're going to have Israel bomb Iran while at the same time we'll talk to Iran and have peace. Guys, the result of Trump peace negotiations, let's talk about it. This man tried to have peace in Ukraine, and Ukraine getting bombed. Try to have peace in Gaza, that didn't happen. Try to create peace with Iran, that didn't happen. He is a failed president. He is a failed make-believe peace president who's willing to have Americans die fighting for Benjamin Netanyahu's interest. Thanks for the super chat, Eric. Looking sharp, Niko. Thoughts on these No Kings protests? What do you guys think? Seems like a lame lib action for virtual signaling.
I feel like they're focused on the wrong thing right now, ain't they? we could be going to World War III and they talking about No Kings protests. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, because to be frank, because of the way Trump has acted in the last 2 weeks regarding immigration policies and the way he's launched federal officers, I get it. Like, yeah, he is acting dictatorial. I will give him that, but like, you know, this is not the day. I feel like maybe y'all should be like, hey, dog, like, can we not go to World War III? I feel like that should be, because what I will say though about this particular subject, y'all conservatives, y'all MAGA chuds who hate immigration so much, y'all must not hate it that much if you supporting this war. Because what y'all think about to happen? What y'all think about to happen? UK, y'all know Starmer just announced that he's sending military assets to the Middle East right now, even though Iran made it very clear, help them if you want to, we're gonna bust y'all ass. They made it very clear. And you're sending them anyway. He said it's preparatory, right? He says preventative. No, y'all gonna use it to help Israel, right? Okay, what do these right-wing nationalist Brits stay complaining about, Nick? Immigration. And because they are closer, they are landlocked, or they're attached to them, so it's easier for them to get there. Okay, y'all think this is going to help the immigration problem when all of the Middle East is in the Southeast Asia is discombobulated? No, you're going to make your problems worse. Exactly. I don't know what y'all think is going to happen, but that's what the result is going to be. You dumbasses. Like, I don't know.
They're incoherent. I kind of like. I told you guys I gotta be careful how I say this because someone asked me about my thought about these protests. Not only am I not interested, they disgust me. You know what I mean? Because why are these people protesting? Oh my God, there are ICE raids going on under Donald Trump. There was ICE raids going on under Joe Biden, dipshit. So do you guys see why that disgusts me? So you only care because a Republican won. Now, basically, to be clear, there are people who are heartbroken because their family is going through trauma because of policies under Donald Trump. These are the same people who will be engaging in direct action because these people was heartbroken and going through trauma under Biden. So I'm not attacking these people. You know what I mean? I'm not attacking the people who are victims of the government policies. I'm attacking the white liberals. I'm attacking these fake, disgusting motherfuckers who don't care about Palestinians being murdered, who saw ICE raids under Joe Biden and didn't give a fuck. So if they didn't protest under Joe Biden and they're protesting under Donald Trump, this is nothing but a partisan action. And what do we know? Partisan actions are inherently counter-revolutionary. But also I think it's very distasteful. Because and I gotta be careful because I think we're smart enough to have multiple thoughts at once. If you protested under Biden and Trump, I'm obviously not talking about you.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah. Exactly.
Finney was out there. Much love to my sister Finney because she protested under Biden and Trump. I
scream at the top of her lungs. Actually, like scream at the top of her. Like, damn, I thought y'all cared about this 2 years ago. What? Like, Biden's he just like when I remember a while ago. Whenever they Democrats voted to give more money to ICE, and Afeni was screaming at the top of her lungs like the rest of us, and everybody's like, oh, but you like Trump? Trump would have been no, he wasn't. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Like literally, I mean, just by the facts that we know, the Democrats are giving more money to ICE, more money to the feds, more money to cops, and y'all aren't doing anything except for saying, why are you bringing attention to it? Do you want us to end up with Trump and the Republicans? Well, what does it matter if we're going to have the same results?
Yep. And what did I tell you guys when I was covering this extensively? Like, those were my lowest performing videos. Like whenever I would talk about that, but you guys know I didn't give a fuck. Like whenever I would do videos about ICE, whenever I did video about ICE, whenever I did videos about the rampant sexual assaults that was happening under Biden's ICE, those would be my worst performing videos. Like if I was averaging 1,000, those videos would do 200, but I wouldn't care. I would still do them anyway. You guys would roll your eyes like, oh, here's Nick talking about some depressing shit again, and I would still talk about it. And then when a Republican is in charge, I do a video about ICE, the motherfuckers get 5 times more views.
Yo, it's so true, dog. It's sad, but it's true. Because I talk about it too. I'm like, bro, y'all like ICE is like they're the largest human traffickers in the world, bro. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Mexicans. I went to El Paso, and I went to Juarez. I was in El Paso and Juarez, and I learned while I was there that a lot of the Mexicans who have American citizenship and Mexican citizenship choose to live in Mexico. They work in the U.S. and literally, oh no, it's safer in Mexico. It's safer on the water side. I said, what? They said, yeah, because there, at least in that particular situation, the authorities actually are trying to stop, human trafficking, the cartels, et cetera, et cetera. They are aware that the U.S. is facilitating it on the other side. Yeah. And by all accounts, that makes 100% sense. We know that people and kids go disappearing. They disappear under ICE's custody. That happens all the time. This is confirmed. ICE got caught having a whole damn human trafficking ring in Georgia. This was under the Trump administration last time, but it had been happening since the Obama administration, and they just so happened to get caught under Trump because people were paying attention. So that's what happens. We'll tell y'all the same thing for 4 years, but y'all only pay attention whenever it's the guy you don't like. Not y'all, but I'm just saying generally speaking. Y'all only pay attention when it's the guy you don't like that's in power. That's the problem. We are always playing catch up because y'all don't want to pay attention until it's the person that makes you feel icky. Like, nah, can y'all pay attention all the time, please? Because none of these people are on your side. None of them. Democrat, Republican, the ICE funding has been increased amongst every single administration, I think, since I've been alive. Like, that's insane, y'all. And everybody's like, man, it's Republicans. Republicans talk about it. Democrats just do it. They ain't gonna announce it. They're not gonna project. They're just gonna do it. You know how Democrats get down. Republicans got to beat their chest because that's part of their game. That's part of how they sell it. Democrats are just gonna do it.
Yeah, you're preaching, my brother. And that concept is exactly why they disgust me, because there was more deportations under Joe Biden, even at this point, if you compare the terms, than Donald Trump. And then Democrats, they'll turn around, they'll say, well, don't you know that's just because there are technically less crossings on the border under Donald Trump. That doesn't fucking matter. You guys still breaking up their families. You guys are still so according to liberals, they want good deportations. Whenever Democrats do it, it's the good version of deportation. And they can't even make the argument, Niko, that because they will say, well, I know that the system is icky, it's a hard conversation, but at least when Democrats run it, we run these institutions with empathy. Motherfucker, Biden, as I was covering, as none of the Democrats cared, Biden's ICE was using slave labor.
Literally. And
that's one of the reasons they were holding people longer than they had to. And the Biden administration was actively denying people court dates so they can keep them for slave labor. Talk about your passive. So that what liberals believe. That what Chuck Schumer believe. That the Hakeem Jeffries. We believe in a passionate ICE. And this is what liberals and people like Rachel Maddow, they believe that ICE is a completely normal functioning institution. But then the second that Republicans win, then it becomes fascist out of nowhere. But then once you vote, then Niko, all we have to do is vote. We go to the voting booth on election day. We vote for a Democrat. Then all of a sudden, ICE is not fascist no more. Isn't that funny, guys?
They're compassionate. Oh, but the FBI or like everybody can ingest the fact that the FBI is corrupt. We know that. CIA is corrupt. Oh, of course. Police. Oh, of course. Like this is all the Democrats. Of course. Yeah, man. Like, well, yeah. ACAB. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. ICE. Well, hold on. Well, under Biden, it's different. What do you mean? Like, nah. I'm pretty sure if you look up, I actually am scared to look up how many Democrats have private equity in these detention centers, because people don't realize that these detention centers are private and they get money every single day. These kids or these adults are there, and that's why they make sure to separate the kids off rip, because it takes so long for them to get in contact with somebody for them to be free. They know that. So like these politicians actually sit on these boards and make money off of, so why do y'all think it would be different? They're just quiet about how they go about their business. I would and some Republicans are conservative, like, well, they bust some immigrants in. I'm not even gonna argue with you. So maybe they did. Yeah, a lot of them get busted in just to get taken right the hell back out. They get busted in to be arrested. You understand what I'm saying? It's called kettling, right? How some of these protesters get set up, like Afeni was warning the other day when it came to that DC. Like she was like, no, go. Don't go, because they're setting y'all up. They're allowing you to protest, allowing you to think that everything is going to be okay, only until you fulfill whatever goal they need you to fulfill, and then they're going to bust your ass right back out, or put you in a detention center, get money off of you, and then send you on your way. But it's gonna be the same result. It's just that they might use them to different ends. They might use those immigrants to different ends. But there's nothing compassionate about ICE, bro. I'm sorry, like it just does not. But I don't want to focus too much on this because, like I said, this is a rounds day. I just want to. We got to focus on giving them all the love that they deserve.
Let's get back to you read my mind there. We get back to the scheduled programming. I'm gonna read the other super chats I saw coming through here. Thank you for $2, Eric. ICE is arresting and disappearing U.S. citizens in L.A. Another one from Eric. Prison labor is replacing immigrant labor. Well said.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's very true. Y'all see what happened in Alabama? People getting their paroles denied for no reason at all after being promised to get released on good behavior. And it's because they're literally getting paid, not getting paid, excuse me. They're safe enough for them to work at McDonald's, but not safe enough for them to be free.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Capitalism has never and it cannot exist without slavery. We all know that, my friends. Let's get back to the story. Let's get back to the bunker baby bitch. That's what I'm going to call him. Bunker baby bitch, Netanyahu.
Bunker baby bitch. I like it. BB the bunker baby bitch.
Why was this a random banger? Because I'm like, dude, shit.
Is that 39,000 likes?
Yeah, because everyone knows he's a little bunker baby bitch. Everyone knows it. It's always the tweets that you actually put the least work in. Like
you just like, man, fuck this guy. Everybody's like, yep, I agree.
Meanwhile, you write a fucking novel about the history of Zionism and colonialism, and you get a fraction.
Bro, I dead ass tweeted out. I was like just hanging out with my son outside, and I just like looked at Ben Shapiro's fucking ridiculous tweet yesterday trying to justify this war. I was like, man, deport this motherfucker. Let's put deport Ben Shapiro because I was just in the mood, and everybody's like, yep, I agree, like 8,000. I'm like, what the hell?
It's infuriating. Your lowest effort, just pure emotional tweets will always do the best.
The algorithm, man. It's the algorithm.
So this is he flew to Greece apparently. I just knew this motherfucker. I knew he was in the bunker somewhere. Imagine you are subjecting your people to this war because you built your military installation next to civilian infrastructure, and because you have this plan to stay in power, and you explained this before. Netanyahu had a plan to stay in power. You want to continue endless war. So in order to do that, you're gonna allow your people to die as you hide in the bunker like a little bitch. So this is something we gotta emphasize. You know, it's anti-war propaganda. To be honest, whenever we highlight the cowardly behavior of the ruling class, because
speaking of cowardly behavior, Nick. So you remember that narrative that has gone around for quite some time now that it's Hamas that uses Palestinians as human shields, and that's why they have to attack civilians and civilian infrastructure. Yeah, did you see where those defense missiles were being launched from yesterday in those videos in Tel Aviv? Those were in civilian. That was civilian infrastructure. There were civilians filming, and they are arresting and threatening to arrest Israelis for recording this. They're saying it's because it might give Iran a strategic advantage militarily. No. I don't believe that's why. I believe it because it shows, once again, the level of projection from Israel. That Israel is, in fact, guilty. That is a goddamn... Bro, it is a missile system designed to shield you. And you are using your civilians. You built it in a civilian infrastructure. In the middle of a civilian... To the point where they can record that shit. They can feel the flames as it's launched to defend them. Didn't do a good job of defending them, but... Isn't that what you accuse Hamas of doing? Isn't that exactly what they accuse Hamas of doing, bro?
This motherfucker,
it's in the middle. I'm like, yo, hold up.
That's a great point.
That shit just launched the Iron Dome is built in the middle of civilian neighborhoods. Everyone's cool with that.
This baby bunker bitch. He not no Sinwar, my friends. You guys, he not no Sinwar. Who's fighting on the battlefield with his men? I thought this is what they accused Hamas of being. Look at these little tunnel rats. Starting endless war, hiding in little bunkers. Sorry. Let's continue the point because I have to emphasize how Israel is not even a real country. Now there's reports, because I just saw...
Hold on, nigga, if you can hear me, my sound went out. I don't know what happened, but I'm going to come right back.
Can you guys hear Niko house? Try to reload. I'm gonna let him know. Sometimes y'all reload. Is it me or is it Niko? There we go. Little baby bitch Netanyahu. There is reports now. So you guys hear Niko. Can you guys hear me too? I think it was just Niko sound. Okay. So there's reports that Russia is accusing the UK of helping deflect Iranian missiles. Can you hear now, Niko?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, we
that
can
was
hear.
weird,
We
bro.
can hear you. I think your audio just went out. I
Yeah,
was
they
clowning
was
Israel.
cooking.
I was explaining how Benjamin Netanyahu is no Sinwar. I mean,
Yeah, no.
Sinwar fought with his comrades. Haven't had any food in 2 days. That's what the autopsy showed. At least 2 days, he didn't eat any food. Starving with his people, fighting with his people. Meanwhile, Israel accuses them of hiding in tunnels. Meanwhile, yeah, Netanyahu being a little tunnel bitch as his country is being bombed. As his people
In another country.
Imagine you a leader and you're fucking up so bad. People are fleeing to another continent. You have Israelis fleeing to Europe. They're going back to New Jersey in New York.
Yeah.
The Israelis are going back.
They
to
just
New York
going back home,
there.
dog. Yeah, I don't feel too bad for them. They're going back home. That's all it is. Vacation over. That extended vacation is over. That's all that.
You have
About
a
to change
bunch
their
of
names back.
Israelis that are flying back to New York to vote against Zoran in the New York mayor race. That's what they do. You feel so bad as a leader. People are fleeing. Your economy's in shambles. You launching these wars in the state of panic, and you can't even defend your own country.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. How many times have we said on this show and said the moment Israel actually has to fight a real war, they're done?
Yeah,
Because they don't ever fight real wars. They fight against Gazans. That's why your whole life has been killing children, literally to the point where like the majority of the population in Gaza is like mostly newer kids, younger kids and women, and catching Lebanon off guard, taking pop shots at them, taking pop shots at Syria, or invading Syria under this new president who's really a dictator, who literally just letting you do it. Like that is the extent of your training, and you think you're going to beat Iran? Like, there's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason the U.S. has not invaded Iran. I said this over and over and over again. We can't win. We can't beat them. We don't. I'm gonna put it like this: we at least can't beat them by ourselves, and Israel can't do much to help. Because if Israel could, we would have invaded. That's what, because they helped, quote unquote. A lot of people make the argument: what, Afghanistan was Israel's war, Iraq was Israel's war. A lot of what we did and do in Syria, obviously, I believe that we just formalize, or we're in the middle of negotiations to formalize our military occupation there and make it legal, basically, instead of illegal. Like, that's to protect the current dictator, probably on behalf of Israel, because eventually people gonna be like, yo, man, so we gonna have some fucking elections anytime soon, and he ain't had them, he ain't announced them, so they're probably gonna get pissed. That's to protect it. So cool, okay, invade Iran. You go ahead, invade Iran. Well, hold on, let's talk about this real quick. Let's just think about it, because they know, everybody knows. Iran is so efficient in how they go about their business. They don't have to lie about if they had a nuclear weapon, they would just tell y'all. They would just tell you. Why? Because you can't do shit. They have not had a nuclear weapon by choice.
Yep.
Nick, a quarter of the IAEA, basically the inspectors that go in on behalf of the UN and inspect all of the world's nuclear weapon systems or nuclear programs. A quarter of those, I think it's like 10,000, were in Iran. They're just like, yeah, come on in, bro. Just come in. We don't care. Thousands and thousands of hours. Like, just come in, bro. We don't care. Go ahead. Like, and then whenever Trump removed the U.S. from the JCPOA, and basically broke the treaty, and Iran began enriching to the point where they could make weapons, they still didn't do it. They didn't do it. And they sanctioned people, the United States sanctioned them, and they were still like, yeah, we really don't care. We're still going to keep doing it. Like, and they still kept funding whoever they had to fund across the region to counter U.S. and Western imperialism in Iraq and Syria and in Lebanon and other areas. Like, Iran still kept handling their business. Like, if they wanted a nuclear weapon, they would have one. But now y'all have pissed them off so bad that guess what Iranian leadership is now saying? Yeah, we need nukes. We're here now. We need them. Like they're going. They came out and said they're trying to convince the prime minister, hey, bro, we need nukes, not because you want to use them, but because we're tired of having to have this back and forth does not happen if Iran has nukes. It only happens right now because Iran does not have nukes and Israel has had nukes. And do you know how many inspections from the IEAE? Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, y'all, but I'm pretty sure it's the IEAE. You know how many inspections Israel has had on their military nuclear program? None. Zero. Absolutely none. Zero, Nick.
Yep.
You know how many complaints there have been about that? There's been like a total of one complaint. And I think it's from like Rand Paul randomly some time ago. No one wants to talk about this policy that Israel has of ambiguity. Literally, like if somebody asks, they just be like, that's their response. And everybody knows that Israel has a nuclear arsenal. They refuse to participate in the transparency they're demanding Iran participate in. And everybody thinks Iran is not everybody. Well, apparently most of the world now. They used to think Iran was a problem, not anymore. But for the longest time, they believed that Iran was the problem, probably under the belief that Israel was subject to the same level of transparency Iran was. But that's never been the case.
Yep.
Never. But look at what y'all have done. Look what you did, guys. Because now Iran, for this whole time, we're not doing anything. We're not lying. They're not lying. They have a process, or they've had a policy of, at least when it comes to the nuclear weapons program, of trying their damnedest to be fully transparent. And Israel used that to their advantage and used the information they got from the IEAE to bomb Iran. So y'all done fucked that up. I wouldn't be transparent anymore either. And now they're like, yep, we need nukes. So now we're one step closer to nuclear war. But who knows? Israel is kind of like, they're bitches, right? So like if another country did have the power to bomb them off the face of the planet with nukes in the same way that they have the capacity to, it probably wouldn't be as aggressive, which is why they don't want Iran to have it, because you can't just do what the hell you want to if Iran has the exact same capabilities, if not more, than you do. Because that Iron Dome ain't shit. We know. I hope y'all ain't relying on that.
Yeah, and Netanyahu said if Israel falls, then humanity will fall.
I don't know where they keep getting this from, bro. It's just so weird.
They always say these threatening ass shit. Like, they will say, you have some other military advisors say some shit like, if Israel falls, it will come to a great cost to humanity. Like, they've been very open that if their colonial project fails, they will start launching nukes and shit.
That's what it sounds like they're really saying, right? Like, yeah, if Israel falls, I believe that, yeah, maybe humanity would suffer, but not for the reasons everybody else thinks. It's like, yeah, because we're going to leak everything, and all of your faith and all the leadership that y'all have been putting your faith in will crumble. That's why humanity will fall. It ain't because Israel's like protecting us from GI. Like, y'all too busy funding it. How y'all going to protect us and fund it?
Yep. So look at this. This is what you referenced.
Where
I don't know who this guy is specifically. Let me reference the tweet. You guys already know. Our friends at Hotspot always sharing great receipts.
It's a military.
Iranian MP Khamenei, urges Khamenei to build nukes, and he explains how Israel is attacking us without justification. And guys, you guys realize that Israel said that they are attacking Iran because they're negotiating with Trump in the United States? How does that even make sense? They're like, oh my God, the United States and Trump, the United States and Iran are negotiating. Quick, we gotta attack them. The fuck? How in the corporate media is taking this at face value? They're like, yeah, technically, it was the perfect time for Israel to attack. They was worried that this is the time for Iran may enrich uranium. They was literally engaging in peace talks, begging for peace for years. And they're like, man, we think Iran is
They didn't remove themselves from the JCPOA. Trump removed the U.S. and all of Europe was like, bro, what the hell are you doing? They actually are following every single rule we put into place. Why are you? Because it's gonna for the same reason we've been hearing literally since 1979. Because this isn't gonna prevent them from probably maybe making a nuclear weapon next 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 7 to 20 years. We don't know. Therefore, I have to pull us out. What? Okay. What? I don't believe that was actually Trump's idea. I believe it was Bolton's idea. Just like I believe it was Bolton's idea to assassinate Soleimani. And because of what we saw took place with Bolton in that spat that he had with Trump at the beginning, like, or towards the end. Like, man, he wanted me to use the Libya model in Iran. That was fucking stupid. Like when he started trying to expose Bolton after everything went down. So I'm thinking that pulling out of JCPOA in 2018 was actually Bolton's idea because it was intentionally to sanction Iran in preparation for a provocation. And at that time, Trump didn't want to go along. Not because he's a peace candidate or peace president, because even Trump knows. Even Trump knows. Trump's an idiot. But he's smart enough to realize, like, he don't like losing wars. He don't want to fight a war that he's going to lose, and that will be his legacy. Okay, that's just what I believe. He might have. I believe, according to two Israeli officials, this is what happened. There was some strategic cooperation between the Trump administration and Israel regarding faking these peace talks or faking these nuclear programs talks to allow Israel enough time to prep to attack Iran. But like, that also shows you how scared he is of Iran. You're going through all this effort.
Oh, yes.
To tap him on the shoulder, basically.
Yeah, and they didn't even dismantle their nuclear arsenal. Like, they keep spreading propaganda like, oh my God, we did big damage. Nigga, you scratched them. They confirmed, yes, Iran took a massive blow because Israel assassinated high-level government officials.
Yeah,
but
that's
I know it's callous to say this, but we thinking in terms of geopolitics, okay? And in terms of geopolitics, it's easier to replace the human lives than the nuclear.
Yeah, and Iran specifically, because they're subject to this type of these types of attacks from Israel, where they're targeting their officials. They always have like a next man up.
Yeah,
but they deeper than the Indiana Pacers, dog. Okay, like for real. Dead ass. Like, why are we pretending like Iran is not who they? I had this conversation with somebody on Twitter yesterday. They were like, they think that Iran is underdeveloped technologically. They're too underdeveloped to go toe to toe with Israel. I'm like, where do y'all keep getting this idea from? This is propaganda.
People still think Iranian women can't go outside, even though they got fucking scientists, nuclear scientists, women. They're like the leading country when it comes to educating women. But meanwhile, people in the West still believe Iranian women are shackled at the stove. Not like people in the West, their mind is blown. And I'm saying this as someone who used to think this, like in my teenage years. As I became an adult, as I became more aware, my mind was blown when I realized everything I was taught was a lie. You guys know my background. I was ignorant. I was an ignorant American most of my life. Then I learned stuff like, hey man, they're actually very educated in Iran. The world is not filled with terrorists who are trying to kill us. You know what I mean?
They're traditional.
You know what I mean?
They're traditional. Okay. So yeah, their women still believe in tradition. Like, that's their culture. Okay. Right? Like, if the people of Iran overall want to move this, they have the ability to do so. They actually do. Like, their elections are way more legit than the U.S.'s elections. But culturally, it aligns with how they want to govern. And that's fine. But don't pretend like they're stuck in the Stone Ages and they're like you said, like their women don't have any rights and they're not allowed to go to school. Like, bro, no. Iranian women are some of the most intelligent people in the world, actually. Yeah. I've never met a stupid Iranian woman ever in my life. Like, and I lived in an area that is full of Iranians, Palestinians that principally come from Jordan. Like, bro, Iranian women are geniuses, and you like engineers. They're like, they don't like they're just like being academics. Like, no, they're like pragmatic, practical application geniuses, and they get credit for it too.
I saw some Washington think tank. They were trying to attack Iran because they're like, is Iran forcing their women to get STEM degrees? Okay, so first you guys criticize them for keeping women inside. Then they decide to educate the women, and then you're like, oh my God, I think they're forcing the women to get degrees. That's the level of pettiness of our propaganda. And I remember, and this is one of the things that broke the dam for me like 10 years ago, a very long time. I saw a video at one of the top Iranian universities, and you saw a lot of these women there. A lot of them didn't have a headscarf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember at the time, and I know it sounds stupid, guys. At the time, I was like, I thought they couldn't go outside without. That's
not true. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I realized that wasn't true.
Yeah. And a lot of the times they just wear it for fashion now.
Yeah. And remember, and I know it may blow the minds of a lot of these fake Western feminists who actually are anti-women, but a lot of Iranian women support it. Like the people who actually do wear the headscarf and all that stuff, they do it because they support their culture. Like it's not like they've been forced to do it, And they just can't come here and no, they must be forced by the Iranian patriarchy.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I dated a Palestinian who wore a hijab, right? Now, in the beginning, it was her dad who forced her to wear it. Like, she was honest about that. And she was like, yeah, my dad just kind of like was an asshole, and it was kind of like a status quo culture thing. Then she actively, when she became an adult, she actually made a choice to take it off, right? But then, because she didn't like the way that that men would like look at her when she's on the street, and like, she just didn't like it. She was like, why are they looking at me like this? She chose to put it back on. She was like, I really would prefer like y'all not just be staring at me like all the damn time like I'm a piece of meat. And I'm like, well, now at least it's your choice now. And she's like, yeah. And as she talked to other women around her age, she said a lot of women had actually reached that conclusion as they got older. Now that doesn't mean they were like, yeah, you still have it's a patriarchy. Just like the United States is patriarchal, and it may not take the form of a hijab, but we see how American men get down when it comes to trying to control their women. It just looks different. Like, so let's not pretend. So, but yeah, a lot of them, they actually believe in this. I know it's crazy to believe, but yeah, they believe something different than you do. They don't want to be buck naked with their ass cheeks out and posting on Instagram trying to do a little something strange for some change and some OnlyFans. Oh my God. Probably why their fucking society is doing so much better than the U.S. at this point.
Yeah, that's what right. That's what they really think. They really think that liberation of women is the ability to have an OnlyFans or something.
That ass, bro. Go ahead, Niko. I don't support the exploitation of women through sex work. I just don't, because at least in the U.S. and in the state of capitalism, because it's an inherently oppressive economy. In other words, you're not actively making a choice. You are making a choice based off of the options that you have and the opportunity or lack thereof. And you are exploiting the fact that men have the money overall, based off of the numbers, they have the extra money to spend and are willing to spend it on women online, and you're taking advantage of that. If you had more opportunity, you knew if I went to go apply for this job as CEO with this other man, and we both, all circumstances being the same, we have the same chance of getting this job, you probably wouldn't be performing on OnlyFans to get your degree. Like, you would just go try to get the job that you can get, knowing that you're going to get paid or have a chance of getting paid the same that man's going to get paid. But you know that you don't. You know it. Right? That's why they be in Miami, they be chasing yacht boys. Why aren't the women buying the yachts? Because they know. They're like, I'm not getting the same opportunities, even in the finance industry. Bro, I talk to these women, they're like, bro, I found out this dude's getting paid more than me and I'm better than him. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Even at that level, they're like, yeah. So you can't, that's why it's not that I don't support you. You can be as liberated as you want to, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to support the exploitation of a woman just because like you're a liberal and you're like, oh, I like being naked. Be naked, okay, but whatever. But don't criticize them for not wanting to be like that.
We talked about this before. You guys know the Marxist argument. We don't support the sexual exploitation of the working class, but we also have to have a scientific analysis of our society. And the neocon right, they use this as an excuse to explode a police state. And I don't support a police state solution to this problem, because
exactly
what's like, if we're gonna say, I don't want you to create an OnlyFans, I don't want you to engage in prostitution because it's bad for you, how the solution to that is to criminalize that?
Yeah, you can't criminalize it either.
How the solution is to, oh man, I want to protect you, so the solution to that is to throw you in prison. You guys see how that doesn't make sense either? So the solution is to culturally oppose it, and we gotta have, and there's nothing, we can't use the levers of the state to enforce it. We just gotta culturally condemn it. And I know people are like, Nick, what are you talking about? You proved no, fam. It has gotten out of control, and it is a symptom of our broken capitalist system. And I was about to do a hospital video on this. I decided not to, but I had the numbers, and I dug up while you were speaking. Now, you understand how bad it's gotten since the COVID pandemic? Right now, there are 4 million OnlyFans accounts. You guys know that?
God damn. Hold on. Like, not people producing or like just general?
So I understand if you like, oh, I think women should be liberated. We should be able to hustle to make a butt the economy is bad. We should be able to hustle to make a butt. Okay, I get it. But listen to this. 4 million, and you guys know how much it increased by in 2023? We don't even know the numbers. I don't know the numbers of last year. I knew this because I did my research. 2023, out of the 4 million, added 1 million OnlyFans accounts in 1 year.
Hey.
What does that say?
Well, that economy was looking pretty bad in 2023 too.
So my argument is getting out of control. Like it's to the point now where if you are against cracking down on sex workers, I'm against that. I'm against the police state cracking down on these people. But we got to be at the point where we culturally oppose it because it's getting out of control. Like
we gotta take the necessity. We have to take the necessity. Like that's what we have to. We have to remove the need for it. In other words, we need to make sure that equity of opportunity is available, and that there isn't a need for it. We know that finances, unfortunately, influence relationships and the ability to have a relationship and maintain one. And it's not even necessarily like, oh, she just wants money. No, I'm saying like literally, why do people get divorced? Because they fight over money. Because it's a survival instinct. It's not like even necessarily like that person just wants money. I need a partner where I know that we're mutually going to work towards our survival. And unfortunately, in the capitalist system, that requires income or the ability to make income and make sure that it can sustain your relationship and your family. We need to make sure that that's possible, and people will be less likely to engage in that type of behavior, whether it's producing content or watching and paying for it, right? Because there are some people that just pay for it as an escape because they don't got nothing else. That little bit of money they got goes towards OnlyFans to talk to some random girl because they ain't got enough money to go out the house and go to a bar to talk to one in real life. And they don't got an apartment to bring her back to. This is the world we're living in. And to bring it back, you want to know why it's the world we're living in? Because for some reason, Congress thinks that your money should go to give them all that money that could be invested back into the economy in the United States. Yeah, we're just going to send that shit to Israel. Yeah, we're going to send that to Israel. Yep. We're going to send that to Ukraine. We're going to send that to our UK for all y'all. I know y'all going through it right now too. Starmer already announced he's about to send $15 billion to Ukraine. They're sending military assets to. He announced today sending military assets to the Middle East to protect Israel, bro. Oh, Jesus Christ, bro! Israel got the ultimate OnlyFans account. That's what I feel like, low key. Like, dog. Like,
I actually found what I referenced, and I'm gonna get back on topic because I still got quite a few receipts. I don't know how much time you got. I'm aiming for 90 minutes though. I aim for around 90 minutes. We still got quite a bit to cover, but this is what I was referencing. Look at this. This is crazy. This is why I'm not even approved. But I think as people who advocate for the liberation of workers, including women workers, we can no longer support this. There are more than 4.1 million OnlyFans creators, and the platform added 900,000 in 2023 alone. Can you guys imagine what the 2024 number is? I bet it's over 1 million. So over 1 million women are signed up to OnlyFans every year because our economy is not.
Bro, that's creator accounts, dog. That's wild. I'm thinking like, okay, maybe it's a mixture of both. No, those are creator accounts.
Yeah, these are people who actually make content, right? Am I reading that right? Yeah, these are people who actually engage in content. Not just people scrolling. Oh, I saw another one. I can't remember the number, but it was planning. I think the number is like $7 billion. The working class spend on OnlyFans. They make $7 billion.
$7 billion?
Yes. Imagine what we can do with $7 billion.
That's damn near more than what Doge was able to save. Hot damn Doge. That's crazy.
Let me fact check myself. I'm gonna type in OnlyFans revenue. I'm not gonna
$7 billion. That sounds damn near low.
And we put in images. This shit gonna get really squirrely.
That's a year, dog. Oh my God.
Oh Jesus Christ. $6.6 billion.
That's in a year.
Jesus, guys. So you guys see what I'm talking about? It's not about being a sexual prude. It's talking about how this is becoming out of control. And we need to engage in class warfare to prevent women and even men. I'm being kind of sexist here. It's men too, because there are a lot of men, OnlyFans content creators. Like, I advocate for the most pro-family policy of all time, and I always go after right-wingers because I want families to be able to have one breadwinner. What happened to that, America?
Yeah.
Remember when you were able to have one parent at home? Not even about like you're like, oh my God, you have all these male chauvinists, whatever. That I miss the days when women stay back home and make sandwiches and knew their place. Motherfucker, they couldn't do that right now if they wanted to.
I swear to God.
One breadwinner family. But go ahead, Niko. I'll give you last thought, and then we get back on track.
I as a person whose wife stays at home, I agree that my family dynamic would actually be completely and totally different if my wife was forced to work 12 hours or 10 hours a day, just including commutes and everything. Like in the US, you have two parents with degrees a lot of the time working great jobs, and both of them have to work, which means like a lot of your money is going to daycare in the beginning of the start of your life. Hard to save money, bro. Whoever's paying for daycare, y'all know. Every time you get a raise, somehow, I don't know how they know, but your daycare knows, and them prices go up, right? You have less time to spend at home helping your kids with schoolwork, helping take care of the house, spending time with each other, and like because like people tend to forget, like when you're married, your marriage is actually separate from your family. If that makes your nuclear family. Like my relationship with my wife is not the same thing as my relationship with my wife in regards to my kids. Yeah. We're not talking about the same things when we're by ourselves. We go out of our way to be husband and wife when we're like, as we're going on about our business. Like you can't really do that if your wife has to be at work all day. The days where somebody can be the breadwinner, somebody can be there to support and take care of the family are long gone in the US, and it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. It's if you want it like that, that's different. And if the schedules work out, but like most people would prefer one person being able to be the breadwinner so that somebody can stay back and hold the family down. And it's better for the family and it's better for the kids' development, and it would be better for society overall. That's whenever the middle class is doing the best, to be honest. I'm just saying.
Yeah, all these low IQ capitalists like Elon Musk, like we need to have more children. The birth rate is so low. Why do you think that is? I would love for women or men to be able to be a breadwinner, a stay-at-home parent, and I think that I honestly I'm showing my.
I'm all about being stay-at-home dad. Shit.
I think that's probably best for children. I don't know. Maybe I'm too old-fashioned, but I think that's best. You know what I mean?
Look, Nick.
That we have like
my son.
Their children, but Niko, my son. Well,
by the way, shout out to my oldest son. Just actually got a perfect score on his English midterm. Don't ask me why 6-year-olds are taking midterms. Don't even ask me about that. But that's a different conversation. But he got a perfect score on his English midterm. And my baby, my 13-month-old, this man is opening front doors. Okay, which is weird. He understands everything we talk to him, say to him. He understands in both Portuguese and English already. Okay, he recognizes music, the difference in music, right? Like he'll know if I'm listening to hip hop, like American music, and he knows whenever I'm listening to Brazilian music because he doesn't really like Brazilian music all that much at the moment, and he makes it obvious. When he wants to eat, he'll start crying a little bit, but then he'll realize, I don't think they know I'm crying. He goes up to his mouth and he goes like this. The cage to the garage to block the stairs, that don't really work anymore because he watches and is so observant because we're always in the house and we don't let them use iPhones or iPads or nothing like that. So he has to be observant because there's nothing else to do. So he knows how to open his playpen. He knows how to open the garage. He knows how to open the door. He even knows that you have to use the keys at night to open the door. He literally goes and gets the keys and tries to put the keys in the door to open the shit because he's been paying attention and because both parents are in the house all the time and he's constantly watching one of us. Yeah. So if I was at work, he would still be watching his mom, or if she was at work all day, he would still be watching me. And it's done wonders for the development of my son and my stepson who didn't have both parents in the house all the time. Like the difference between when after me and his mom got married, And before, she's like, I can't. It's like a different child in 2-3 years. It's a different child completely. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what happens when you have both. Like when you have somebody in the house to take care of the family. That's it. That's what happens.
That's why the once again the dipshit low IQ conservatives like, oh, why are the black men? Were they not with their family? Motherfucker, my dad was working overtime. He wasn't available. My mom was working her job as an accountant. And I remember there was a point where we were struggling so bad. Even though she was working as an accountant, she had to get a job at Walmart. And it was when we was like a teenager, so we was able to be more independent. So I didn't even see her that much. You know, that's capitalism for you, family value.
That's true.
But let's get on. We can continue riff on this all day. But for the sake of your time,
just as a point of order, anybody who says that at this point is lying because black men are actually statistically the most involved in their kids' lives than any other group. So just let everybody know.
Yeah. Once again, we can riff on that topic a whole stream on itself. I'm doing it just to be respectful of your time. Cause we still
you good, man. I just had to let that look because I don't like when people black men that were we were.
There's a few receipts I absolutely want to get to.
Go ahead.
I know it's Saturday, so if you got dip, just let me know. But I'm having.
We good.
I'm having a good time.
I got to 5:30 my time, so we got like 30 more minutes.
Cool. So let's get on topic. I tell you, I love having Niko on. We can talk about anything, man. We can have a they know how to do about geopolitics. But anyway, let's get back to. I'm gonna start here. Cause I was like, damn. What the fuck did I leave off at? Let's start here because I was talking about how the United States was helping Israel, and as I suspected, and I had Glenn Greenwald on, and I've been talking about this for weeks. It has been a common theme on RBN because I was a nerd who just enjoyed talking about it. Was the Netanyahu-Trump breakup real? And I kept telling you guys, I don't think it's fucking real. I think it's fucking bullshit. I said it's fucking bullshit from the very beginning. They may have strategic differences, but they are generally aligned. And there are people who are less disciplined in the Trump administration who kept giving the game away. You want to know who kept doing it? People like Mike Huckabee.
Yes.
Apparently, according to the stories, the Israelis was urging Trump to stop publicly saying that he wanted to escalate against Iran in public. They wanted Trump to stop saying that he's going to bomb or support a war against Iran. That's when Trump started saying he wanted peace. It was a coordinated strategy. Meanwhile, at the same time, Mike Huckabee, as they were pretending to have his tension, he would come out and say, hey, guys, that reporting is bullshit. We actually 100% down with the Israelis.
Can't believe everything you hear. Like, what? Okay.
And they were like, hey, you fucking dipshit, you're not supposed to say that out loud. So guys, they gave up the game many times.
Hey, look, what Cat Williams say? What Cat Williams say? Huckabee sounds like some bum ass weed. That's exactly what he was. That boy was smoking some bum ass weed. Like, hey man, I don't know what they talking about. We still with them. I don't know. I just talked to Trump yesterday. I don't know where he getting this from.
Hey, dude, it must be trying their best, dude. They were trying their best. Pete Hegseth, he was like, hey man, we would love to have support the Israelis, but we gotta make a deal with Iran. We gotta do what we gotta do. It was so obviously bullshit. You can tell it wasn't even their heart because they're not used to talking about peace. Their heart wasn't in it. I knew it was full of shit. So the point is, the United States was always with Israel. They will always work with Israel. Israel cannot engage in this war without the United States. They couldn't even fight Hamas without the United States. I can find the receipts I showed you guys before, but you had an IDF official who was playing, like one of their chiefs who was playing, they wouldn't be able to fight Hamas for longer than 6 months without United States support. So, and I'm not talking about
I've seen estimates where it's less. It's like 3. I've seen 3 months.
Let me find it. Israel. I'm gonna see if I can find that receipt.
They literally like if the U. I remember reading the article and they were like, yeah, man, if there was if the U.S. should stop giving all funding, all military aid to Israel, like they would have to stop fighting between 3 to 6 months. I'm like, what? So basically, the only thing that's sustaining Israel's genocide is us. There you go.
And you guys realize I'm not even just talking about weapons and bombs.
This is Haaretz, by the way.
Helping with AI targeting, guys. Without the targeting, without the intelligence that they give, intelligence, God, how much that cost? You know what I mean? They get free intelligence from the United States. They get targeting using advanced AI systems for pennies on the dollar. Dude, the Israel is a fake country. Remember my sister Josana our dear sister Josana, who's killing it in Brazil, she used to say Israel is fake. Israel is not real. She used to go on these friends. Israel is not real. Then before the genocide, people were like, what the fuck you talking? Israel's not real.
Cause it's true.
Israel's not, and that's what she meant. Israel is not a real country because whether we like it or not, Niko, you get your legitimacy as a state by either the support of the people or by might makes right. To be real, if the people don't support you, if your neighbors don't support you, they hate you. You still have a state if you're able to defend yourself. If you're able to maintain.
That's the only legal, so according to international law, like the only way that you can actually be considered a sovereign state by international standards is you have to be able to be self-sustainable, and that includes your military. Like that is a fact. I was kind of surprised. I'm like, damn, for real. So like, if you can't, like, yeah, no, technically speaking, if you can't defend yourself, you can't technically be considered a country, or other countries can decide that you aren't a country anymore. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. And then I thought about Israel. I'm like, but Israel can't sustain itself literally at all without our funding. So what does that mean for them? It means they're not a country.
They're not. They are the fakest. They are subsidized by the United States. Their healthcare is subsidized. They're only able to do this because the United States provide defense for Israel. Mm-hmm. And that allows us to invest in things like social spending, like healthcare, infrastructure. So they were not even able to do this without the United States subsidizing them, without the United States supporting them militarily. They are not able to defend themselves, which shows that Zionism is a failed project.
Yeah, like, they started a war. Danielle started a war yesterday, and Iran responded, and the U.S. had to launch missiles to intercept Iran. They couldn't even defend themselves from the initial strike, the initial response to Iran. And y'all think they're gonna be able to fight a war without us?
Hey, Niko, I thought Zionism was about Jewish self-determination. Whatever happened to that?
That's what shit. I can't tell, because only the people that be advocating for the Zionists specifically, that advocate the most for these wars, are in countries that are not Israel. They just like tweet from their couch. Yeah, man, go get him. Yeah, Favo, go fight Iran. Oh, like you on the way? You going too, bro? No. I'm comfortable here in the U.S. in D.C., in New York, in Australia. Like, so you're advocating for a war that you're not going to fight in, that you're not going to die in, that you probably will not really feel the repercussions of, at least not immediately. But you are super passionate about the fact that they must go to war to defend your ass on the couch. Like what? Self-determination? What's up? If you're trying to be self-determined, then I'm allowing you to, it's like, they tell you guys, like, black families back in the day, they just send your ass out the house at 18. Like, you just was gone, right? That's just how it used to be back in, my mom used to count out the days. Yeah, we need to send their ass about the house. Go ahead, man. See how y'all get along, and see how y'all act when you can't rely on my bank account. And see how long the genocide lasts. See how long they keep up these bases in Syria, keep up attacking Lebanon, keep pissing off and testing the patience of Iran. All that shit will cease immediately. The United States is responsible for propping up all of the instability in the region, because we know that instability comes through who? Through Israel.
And you have people, and I'm greatly enjoying the coverage from MAGA influencers right now, because MAGA influencers are in complete shambles right now. Because what did I tell you guys? I told MAGA, and I warned them, that Trump is going to be a one-term president. He's not running for re-election, fam. I know he's selling. I know he's making money. He's selling Trump 2028 hats, but trust me, he don't want to do this shit again. Do you guys think Trump really gonna want? Do you think he at what 87, 86? I don't know how old he's gonna be in 2020. But you think at that age that Trump really want to do this shit again instead of just partying, doing fucking chilling at Mar-a-Lago, doing golf? No, he's done. And do you guys think that Trump really cares about the future of the Republican Party? So you guys have zero mechanisms of holding Donald Trump accountable.
The time to hold Donald Trump accountable was actually when he was running for re-election, like, which we told y'all, and y'all didn't want to listen. We're like, y'all not gonna ask him about this shit
again. Not only do you guys vote for me again, I won the popular vote. I'm done, idiots. I'm going full-fledged pro-Zionism. Completely lying to my. Oh, you think I'm gonna release the Epstein files? Oh, you fool! You already voted for me, dipshit. Not doing that either.
JFK, you're going redacted. Come on, bro.
Look, drop Israel. How military escalation with Iran divides Trump's base. The cope we are seeing, because we have been discussing how MAGA is going through this little, I call it a very one-sided civil war. On one side, you have the quote-unquote anti-Zionist MAGA supporters who have zero power and zero support among the Trump administration and the Trump movement, but they make good content in support of Trump. They get likes and retweets, but they got no structural power. I'm talking about the Tucker Carlson. I'm talking about the Dave Smith, the people who support Donald Trump, who we are anti-war. We're gonna bring American first policies. Meanwhile, Donald Trump don't give a fuck about any of that.
Which is wild to say with Tucker Carlson, right? You would think, like, as loyal as Tucker has been, that he would, but not. And Tucker is influential in the media sphere, but not. Like Laura Loomer has more influence over the Trump administration than Tucker Carlson, which is actually like a fucking shame when you really think about it. Like, who is this woman and why? Oh, because she just literally says whatever Trump needs her to say at the time, and Tucker be pussyfooting, right? Like he was willing to say, like, we can't go to war with Iran, we shouldn't go to war with Iran. Trump shouldn't listen to anybody who's telling him to go to war with Iran. But like many people have mentioned, like, but why don't you admit that like Trump was part of this plan to go to war with Iran? Because it's obvious, right? Like it obvious based off of everything else we've seen. It is obvious that he was part of this plan. And if he was not part of it, his administration was planning all this behind his back, that's even worse. It means he has no control. He's just as much of a puppet as Biden is. So like, you gotta call a spade, dog. But we're in an era where the Laura Loomers of the world have more influence over political of our Trump administration than Tucker Carlson, huh?
The Ben Shapiro's, the Mark Levin. They are the people with influence, dipshits. They thought that Tucker Carlson was running MAGA. No, he wasn't. Like, you guys had no influence. You guys had zero influence in the decisions of the Republican parties. You guys just enabled another George W. Bush. And essentially,
y'all was as influential as Elon Musk thought he was.
Yeah. The MAGA has shown to be a completely fraudulent movement. It was a great plan by the establishment. You got to give it to them. It was an amazing way to get disenfranchised poor white dudes back into the George W. Bush Republican Party was dead. The Republican Party was dead after Barack Obama. So what was their plan? Trumpism. Let's get them edgy white dudes back in the party. And
they said, hey man, y'all see what Bernie doing over there? Hey, how about we do that shit, but don't fuck them over. Like, let's do that. Because that shit seemed to be working. You see how much money he's raising? They make an entire organization. This is an economy over there bro, the Democrats are dumb. They should be propping this man up. Let's not make that mistake. Let's prop up Trump, even if we hate him. Give him some opposition. Let him think he's in charge. Let his base think that they're actually running shit and just ride it out. Because eventually he's going to do what we want to do anyway. And that's exactly what happened. So you do got to give it to them. They ran a scam, and it was a successful one.
They styled the fuck out of the entirety of the white community. They was like, we're not even going to change our slogan. We're going to take a Ronald Reagan slogan. Let's take a Ronald Reagan slogan. Make America great again. They didn't even change the playbook.
He's like, we're not even going to deport. Like, we're going to scream about all the immigrants we're deporting and not even deport more than the Democrats, which is that's what be wild to me. I'm like, this man is like literally campaigning on this very thing that he's going to do better than the Democrats, and he's not even doing it. Like, he's like actually, if I remember, like a couple of months ago, like he was where Biden was at when it came to deportations compared to where Trump was at. It was like by a few 100,000 off. Like, Biden deported way more people by that time than Trump had. I'm like, this is so strange. Why is he talking so much about this issue then? And why are his people? And when we tell people like, nah, Biden deported more people, and they're looking at us like we're crazy. Like, no, he definitely did. Like, here are the numbers. No, he didn't. Trump he's the one protecting us from the immigrants. I'm like, no. I mean, I'm based off of your logic. No, Biden did better, I guess. I mean, by your standards. Well, no, because no, I'm showing you right here. You argue with me? Here's the numbers. Here are the Democrats giving them more money. They can't believe it because they don't want to admit that Biden and Trump are damn near the same person.
Yep.
Bro, I swear to God, you can't convince me at this point that Trump is not pillow talking with Kamala every night before he goes to bed to plan the next move. Like, how are we going to keep up our Zionist grift, but also how are we going to reignite excitement and galvanization for the Democratic Party? Because it looks like he's working for them at this point. It looks like he's trying to help them win. Because the Democrats are out here being quiet. Yeah, man. This is crazy what he doing out there. Oh, okay. Like, what are y'all gonna do to stop it? That's y'all asking for a lot now. Ask me in ask about 6 or 7 months when I need to fundraise, and maybe I got something to say about it after y'all forget.
It was such an amazing scam. This motherfucker was a reality game show host, beloved by Hollywood. He was a fucking East Coast liberal. He was a New York liberal. Clinton donor. Donald Trump was a liberal Clinton donor who was pro-choice. He used to talk about how he was pro-choice, and then out of nowhere, he turned into an evangelical. Right when Barack Obama wins the election, then he started promoting the birtherism, CIA-supported conspiracy theory. The fact that he was even allowed to win the election should have sent off alarm bells if you actually care about critical thinking. The fact that he was even allowed to win. This guy was a East Coast New York slumlord liberal who turned on a dime into an evangelical. This motherfucker was asked what his favorite Bible verse, and he was like, "Oh no, nigga, I think that's personal." I think that.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh shit!
That's what we're talking about. And then the person interviewed like, "No, Christians, we talk about that all the time. Actually, we talk about our favorite person." He's like, "Nah, I think that's personal." So this guy obviously bullshitting. He's not an evangelical. You guys really think this guy who's multiple time divorced, fucking banging porn stars and hookers? Do you guys think he's really an evangelical? It's a con.
No, what was crazy? No, Nick, what was crazy was how he out here like literally trying to pitch himself as an evangelical, and then you got these little ex-MAGA thoughts becoming famous for just posting themselves half naked and being like, if you support Trump and Christianity and the American way, like and retweet. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm kind of confused. Y'all are sending a lot of mixed messages here. Do y'all are y'all Christian, or like are y'all hoes? Are y'all pro? Like, what are we doing? Because the morals and ethos and pathos that they claim to support would be that of like somebody from Iran, for example, right? A traditional Muslim from Iran, and then they get on Twitter and literally show their ass. I'm not talking figuratively. I'm talking literally show their ass. It is the strangest thing. I'm like, y'all, even with Elon Musk, when you have like Elon Musk, you know, when he all of a sudden became this evangelical Christian because he became part of the Trump administration, and I'm like, this dude is literally in the middle of a public custody battle with his fake kid, or, you know, maybe it was artificial insemination or whatever. But like, and he like got another baby on the way, or he just had a baby with Yacarino, the CEO of X, right? Also like one of the most dystopian, anti-speech, pro-censorship advocates in the world. Like he got like 15 kids on every continent, and is unapologetic about it and engages in lewd behavior, and y'all like, yep, that's the idol I want.
Yep.
I'm confused. Or the same ones who support Andrew Tate. They're like, yeah, man, I want Andrew Tate support. The guy who literally admits to pimping out women online. Okay. I don't really understand where y'all at anymore.
But you gotta see how it's a con. He went to drag show. This motherfucker he became an evangelical Christian out of nowhere. But let's get back to the topic.
Which doesn't mean anything nowadays. Like, what does that even mean anymore?
MAGA is a complete pure cope mode. And here's Tucker Carlson, who, when I was reading this tweet, I was like, oh, is he finally going to do it? Of course he's not. Of course. I'm spoiling it for you. Of course he's not. Tucker Carlson, just like Candace Owens, just like Alex Jones, the hilarious segment I did not too long ago, they have this conspiracy theory that Donald Trump is being manipulated and being fed bad info by neocon actors. Isn't this the same thing you guys said that Donald Trump did the first time he learned his lesson? They're like, I think Donald Trump really learned his lesson. He accidentally hired the wrong people last time. Now they're making the same excuse because Tucker Carlson in the year 2025, in the summer 2025, he just now realized, Niko, that Sean Hannity had more influence on Trump, not you. You don't realize that Mark Levin had the ear of Donald Trump, not Joe Rogan. But I think they know. But like, we can have more. Like,
you know what that looks like to me? That looks like all the people who used to sign his paychecks, and now like that looks like a list of people he upset at. Honestly, when you really look at it, it's Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Rupert Murdoch. Like, this is all Fox News people.
Yep.
Yeah, it look like are you just salty that you lost your Fox News money? Is that what it is? Because that's what it seems like. Like he thought he was gonna have more influence. He does. Like, don't get me wrong, he does got like a lot of influence, but like not that kind of influence. And also, you knew he was taking this money before, right? Like everybody knew. We all got the same access to the FEC files. Like we all knew. Tucker Carlson, to his credit, is a well-researched journalist at this point in his career. So I know you knew. What did you think was going to happen? We knew who was influencing Donald Trump, and what was crazy is he did not only learn from his mistake, or it was not obvious that he did not learn from his mistakes from the last administration. He got worse. He literally picked the dumbest motherfuckers you could possibly pick, like Pete Hegseth. That man was picking this. Y'all motherfuckers in a Signal chat talking about like we can't forget that, right? Like purposeful leak, non-purposeful leak. They were in the Signal chat. JD Vance is the dumbest motherfucker on the planet out here pretending like he don't know who Peter Thiel is. Like he don't got a Netflix documentary. Like we don't know that they best friends. Like you weren't. Like he wasn't your mentor. Oh, I don't really know a lot about Palantir. They learn who
he is. They're like, you heard about this Peter Thiel guy? I don't know, man.
I don't really know about Palantir. Yeah, I don't really know about Palantir like that, man. It's not really my area expertise. No, motherfucker, he is your mentor. He is literally your mentor. You are the reason Peter Thiel and Donald Trump made up. Whenever Peter Thiel did not like Donald Trump, you are the reason, bro.
That's exactly what they fucking say. Your impression that was fucking. That was.
Watching that interview. I'm looking at this shit with I'm like, is he trying to pretend he doesn't know who Peter Thiel is?
Hold that thought because we're gonna get there. I love where you're going with it because we know this story, and you notice all the people that helped Israel repeat this narrative because we know now that Trump and Netanyahu was working together to help Iran lower their guard so they wouldn't be ready for Israeli attacks. We know that this was another Israeli operation. They are bragging about it. So you want to know who was going along with this and was helping the Israeli operation out? People like Alec Jones, people like Candace Owens, people like Tucker Carlson, who for the last 2 weeks, they've been having a field day with this story. So remember what I told you guys, and people thought I was being too mean, when I told you guys that Ian Carroll and Candace Owens, Alec Jones, and all these people are actually useful idiots for the Zionist regime. You know, the same people like Tucker Carlson. He says he don't like Hamas. He said he still loves Israel. He like the Israeli people. He don't like Hamas though. And I said these people are useful idiots for the Zionist regime. So then the Zionists do this operation where they're pretending that Netanyahu and Trump is breaking up. And guess who amplifies that? People like Tucker Carlson. People like Candace Owens. People like Ian Carroll. Let me show you this video. Now I want you to
Ian Carroll be getting me, bro. He be pissing me he's a first of all, he's a fucking dumbass. Like he's an idiot. Like he's not a smart individual. He does decent research now that it's like super easy to do research. Like, okay, congratulations, you learn how to use AI like everybody else. Fucking congrats, I guess. But like where I don't care, like you can be the best researcher in the world, but when your conclusion does not match your research, you're an idiot. That's how I feel. Like that's basically what it always comes down to. And like his videos will say one thing, but then he'll be in the mentions of other people saying shit that completely contradicts the conclusions he makes in his videos.
Ian Carroll is the Cenk Uygur of the tech bro right. He's
basically
a year late on everything because he supported Donald Trump and they was having rallies literally sponsored by Palantir. And then he was refusing to even say Palantir, remember? Ian Carroll, he was still the research of content creators, videos and shit they did a year before. And he would be like, hey guys, I did some research. I discovered something. Don't you know that Benjamin and Yahoo's corrupt, guys? Hey, don't you know that Israel's blocking the two-state solution? I dug into it. And this is the legal reasons why. Motherfucker, the left has been talking about this for years. And he would do a video. And then the people who've been behind on this are like, oh my God, Ian Carroll blew my mind. And then Ian Carroll, literally just a few months ago, he's like, hey guys, I just looked into Palantir and I'm kind of concerned. We was warning you about Palantir as he was endorsing Trump. He was endorsing Trump. And we were like, hey guys, why you guys supporting about Palantir? He was like, oh, you guys are into conspiracy theories. And then
Derek Bose, remember Derek Bose? Remember the Derek Bose interview?
I take credit. Like, you guys see how these people operate? But go ahead, Niko.
Do you remember the Derek Bose interview? Whenever he brought up, he's like Peter Thiel is a problem, right? Like, yeah, he's like, you know, like Peter Thiel's a problem, right? Palantir, Peter Thiel, like this is a problem, right? And he's like, you know, like, no, it's a problem. Derek is like trying to give him an out, like, bro, it's obviously a problem, right? Like how invested he is in the campaign, like this, like, right? Come on, bro, I'm throwing you a fucking ball here, and here's your time. I just don't really know, man. No, you can't tell me you read, because it was obvious how much you read Whitney Webb's research. Like, you are obsessed with her research because it's how you got famous. At this point, that's basically what we can all. I think we can all agree on that. Like, anything that you've said that seemed like original and new and controversial, it was just something that Whitney Webb said 7 years ago. So I know if you've done enough research using Whitney Webb's work, you know exactly how dangerous Palantir is, and you gonna sit here and pretend like you didn't know. So look, when people just come out of nowhere, I tweeted out today. I said, motherfucker, if you got an account that was made in 2024, you got 100,000 plus followers and twice as many tweets, bro, I know you an op. I know an op when I see one. I know an intelligence operation. It's a psyop. Because I've been on social media long enough, not just like as a political analyst, I've been on social media long enough to know how this shit works. And it don't really work like that. Not unless you're paid for it to work like that.
And it's something else that we would justify it on, Niko. Like, it's one of the things that people now say, oh, damn, nigga, I thought you would just hate on this nigga Ian. I thought you would just hate him. Now they're like, oh, no, he actually is shady. This motherfucker, this is just him on Joe Rogan, repeating the Zionist talking points. We know now that Netanyahu and Trump wanted to pretend that they was having a beef. Here's Ian Carroll with his fucking fighting fast conspiracy theory. Listen to
and can I just say, anybody with a mustache like this at between 30 and 37 years old, you cannot trust them. I just want to let everybody know that you cannot trust. It's like a black guy with no facial hair whatsoever. Like, if they just go straight bald, short haircut with the one and no mustache, don't trust that motherfucker. Is that not true, Nick?
This is what passes for intellectualism on the right here.
Feel this thing and talk about it. And
most people in the general public aren't even aware that the Israeli people were protesting against Netanyahu before October 6th.
Yeah, he's about to get kicked out.
Hundreds of thousands of people in the streets, and that it had been going on for a long time.
100%.
Yeah.
I suspect, I'm hoping I'm not blowing the lid on Trump's idea here.
I knew. Well,
I kind of suspect that Trump is kind of in on a coup against Netanyahu right now. This is just my theory.
Did they just cut it out, the sound?
Can y'all hear it?
My sound is cut out.
Niko, I'll play it again. Can you guys hear it?
Hold up.
Niko, your sound cut out. That was literally the worst time for that to happen. You guys hear that? Yes, I think that Trump, I don't want to blow the lid off of his plan, y'all. Yeah, it was just Niko.
Hold me back. They trying to hold me back.
Your cut out. Literally the worst time. Let me play the video again. You gotta hear this shit. This is what counts. I'll play it again. Sorry, I'll play it again for Niko.
No, go ahead.
This is what passes for a MAGA intellectual. I'll play it again.
Feel this thing.
For all the people who thought I was being too mean to this guy, this is the kind of bullshit he was feeding to the working class in this country, and people was eating it up. He's on Joe Rogan. He made it. People like Candace Owens tweeting him out. Oh my God, anyone got to check out Ian Carroll. He's such an intellectual. This is what's coming from him.
And talk about it. And
most people in the general public aren't even aware that the Israeli people were protesting against Netanyahu before October 6th.
Yeah, he's about to get kicked out.
Hundreds of thousands of people in the streets, and that it had been going on for a long time.
100%.
Yeah.
I suspect, I'm hoping I'm not blowing the lid on Trump's idea here. I kind of suspect that Trump is kind of in on a coup against Netanyahu right now.
Donald Trump. This is what passes for intellectual content among the MAGA right. I think, and this is why I should support Trump. By the way, I believe that Donald Trump has a coup plan against Netanyahu. You guys see the bullshit that comes from the CIA JRE show? Why they won't get young men to support this Zionist puppet Trump? Do you know that Donald Trump actually he's engaged in fighting chess, Niko, to overthrow Trump and Netanyahu?
There's so many people Joe Rogan could have brought on to have this conversation. There's so many people, so many. Like everybody else, like why have you still not had Whitney Webb on? Like that, like people still want to, because after that interview, you remember the outrage because Whitney Webb was like, she was trying to be gracious and was like, look, I'm not here to attack him, but like he is not representing my work the way that I meant for it to be represented. You know, like no shade to him.
Like that? That's crazy.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh bro. No, it was a whole thing, dog. And they try to attack her. Like you should just be fucking grateful that Ian even mentioned your name and gave you some credit. Like yeah, after he got attacked for months because he didn't give her credit, they forgot about that part, and she still let the shit slide. Like she let it, but because it was on Joe Rogan this time, but she was like, no, these are not the conclusions that I draw of my work. And I need to make that clear. And people started attacking her for being honest about her fucking work. Cause he's on Joe Rogan because of the work the research.
Have Whitney Webb on?
No, that's what everybody was pissed about. Like if you want to have a motherfucker on to talk about Whitney Webb's work, why not just bring on Whitney Webb?
Because it's not like Joe Rogan is compromised. Like I remember I heard that a long time ago that people were like, we need to get Whitney Webb on Joe Rogan. He never had her on. That was over a year ago. It's crazy that he still haven't. Like I know he heard the call. So
back in the day, remember when he was having on like Kyle Kalinske? He had on Crystal and Sagar. He had on Anna. Like in that time frame.
I have disagreements with him, but that's Dr. Cornel West.
That was before the Spotify deal. So to be clear. That was before the Spotify shit. So we all know how that everybody knew what time it was whenever he got a Spotify deal. So people were like, yo, you need to have on Whitney Webb. Cause I mean, at this point, Whitney's still at that point, even going viral damn near every tweet she puts out and is dropping fire. And this is in the middle of the Epstein shit, bro. Everybody's like, so you're going to have on Whitney Webb, right? Okay. You're not, maybe it's limited hangout. Cool. You're not allowed to talk about these particular things. So then you fast forward. Ian Carroll comes out of fucking nowhere using Whitney Webb's work. And then people are like, hold on, didn't you not have Whitney Webb on because of you can't broach these topics? And you're telling us, oh, well, no, if it's just this mediocre fucking white guy with a handlebar mustache, then yeah, no, I can have him on. It's different. He doesn't actually know what the fuck he's talking about.
So what does that say? Who gives Joe Rogan the okay to have this guy on? Because it's clear that Whitney Webb doesn't have the okay. I don't have the okay. Niko doesn't have the okay. Like there's somebody had the okay. Like I told you guys this before. Bree, she told me she hit up Piers Morgan because she was like she wanted to see me on the show, and it was like nigga, you out of your goddamn mind.
Yeah.
So
shout out to
like,
Bree for that, but
who makes the call? You know what I mean? Who makes that call? So someone's making that call for Joe, and someone made the call that Ian Carroll's okay. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But let's get back to the clip, and I want to get your thoughts. So this is big brain. This is big dude. Double.
I hope I'm not spoiling Trump's plans. Boy, what the these people?
I don't want to drop a bomb here, guys. Like, can you imagine being that fucking much of a dipshit? All right, I'll play a little bit more of it. Then we'll move on. I have just for heads up. I have one more segment I want to do for sure. But we'll wrap up for maybe another 20 minutes if you're good, Niko. Maybe another 20 minutes. But let's play this clip and we'll continue.
Hundreds of thousands of people in the streets, and that it had been going on for a long time.
100%.
Yeah.
I suspect, I'm hoping I'm not blowing the lid on Trump's idea here. I kind of suspect that Trump is kind of in on a coup against Netanyahu right now.
How's that going? How is that going for you right now?
I just can't believe nobody's bringing. Hey man, you need to clip this shit like just that fucking post and just put it out there on Twitter. It's like y'all remember when this dumbass nigga said this shit and y'all listen to anything he says? Come on, bro, stop.
I let it continue because I want to see. Let's see how he justifies it. Let's see what Big Brain had to say here.
Kind of suspect that Trump is kind of in on a coup against Netanyahu right now. This is just my theory based upon the way he talked about like occupying Gaza and the way he's friends with Jared Kushner and the way he's friends with the Adelsons. I suspect that these powerful Jews, like the Adelson type people, are starting to realize that Netanyahu is kind of sinking this ship, and he's kind of fucked it all up, and it's not going well for Israel in the public conversation. Like I can ratio just about anyone I want on Twitter over the Israel thing, because the public sentiment is just shifting, and it's not healthy for anyone, for Jewish people or anyone else. And I'd suspect that the powerful Jewish people are starting to see that and are starting to scheme on how do we fucking get Netanyahu out of there and put someone in that can actually be and move us towards some sort of peace. Because without
he thinks they want peace, Niko. Like there's so many things wrong with this. I'm sorry, I'm gonna let it finish, and then there's so many things wrong with this. But you guys see how he thinks they want peace. Why would you think the ruling class even want peace? You know what I mean? They're children. They're like children watching this. You know what I mean? I know we don't get the greatest numbers, but we talk about real politics. This is children talking about politics. But I'm going to let it finish, Niko, and then I want you to share your thoughts. This is amazing. Like, big shout out to our friend Greg for finding this clip. Like, you should never live this down. Like, this is the worst age take of all time.
Get Netanyahu out of there and put someone in that can actually be and move us towards some sort of peace. Because without a genuine desire for, like, Netanyahu is on fucking camera saying that they have propped up Hamas in the Gaza Strip because they don't want a real government in the Gaza Strip, because it's far better for them to run this occupation and to eventually take the land if Hamas is, that's not an exact quote. Everyone should look that up for themselves.
But not just propped up, but funded.
Exactly. Yeah. And intentionally kept
kind of
just when you hear that, you're like, well, what's the logic for funding Hamas? What logic?
Well, it's the exact same logic as us funding the Taliban.
Yeah.
It's the exact same
logic.
Actually,
no, it was not. It was not the exact same logic as funding. That's a little that's what? Oh, Jesus Christ. The fact that he that's what happens when you just start tuning in a year and a half ago to literally everything in the world. Like you're like, yeah, it's the same. No, like I understand why he would think that. But the Taliban is like a fucking terrorist organization. They were a terrorist organization. They are a terrorist organization. Hamas was not a terrorist organization. Hamas is an actual government, and they were propped up to replace the old government, and because of how strong that government was getting, and that struggle within Palestine, in the context of Palestine, had nothing to do with the Taliban and Afghanistan and us trying to control a situation in that region. Like, I can't believe. See, this is shit I be talking about. Like, how do motherfuckers be getting to say the dumbest shit? Like, I think that you said that you think that Trump was working with the Adelsons to coup Benjamin Netanyahu, and you can just keep on going about your business like that shit cool?
Yep.
That tweet should be circulated. That clip should be circulated every 3 days. Every 3 days we should be seeing that clip. Y'all remember that? Because like there are clips there are clips of people's videos, this dumb shit that they've said like that into their career all the time. Like that while we don't listen to them. That should be like top 3 ever. Like, I believe that Trump is working with the Adelsons to coup Netanyahu. Like, what?
If Joe Rogan hears that shit, he's like, bro, we got to have him on the show ASAP. He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
I can just say stupid, edgy shit if that's the case, right? Like, if that's all we got to do to get on Joe Rogan's show. Like, just say.
It's like fucking George Carlin is rolling in his grave at the State of Comedy. He's like Joe Rogan. He
probably pissed he's missing all this good ass material to keep it a band.
I'm gonna see how fast I can go through the receipts. Niko, let me know how you do. I'm glad.
Please read that one. Yeah, we got.
I'm glad. I know. Saturday we kind of chill. We hanging out. It may be a little bit longer. Almost done. I promise. Almost done.
I'm
good.
Get
to the Democrats soon. I want to make sure I get to the Democrats because if we're not roasting the Democrats at least once, we're not really talking. That's
fact. That's fact.
I'm gonna go through this quickly, Niko. I promise you. I appreciate your time, man. Here's Laura. Laura Loomer is engaged. I cut a few of these receipts because I have a few receipts from Mark Levin. I'm not going to read all these because there's a civil war going on, as I mentioned earlier, between the actual relevant part of MAGA, the Mark Levins, the Laura Loomer, who I still believe in Trump's side piece or some shit. I think they probably called it off after Trump won again. But the way Trump look at Laura, that's how you want your partner to look at you. You want your partner to look at you the way Laura Loomer is looking at Trump. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's all I'm going to say. So either way, the same time, I'm not going to read all the unhinged tweets. I will read this one, though, because it kind of sum up what I wanted to present here. The civil war going on in MAGA, right? Because not too long ago, if the United States was going to launch the Middle East war, if they're going to support Israel, it was easy to get the people on the right on board. The hard part was to get the shit libs on board. Don't get me wrong. It was inevitable. It was going to happen, but it was a little bit harder to get them. Now, for the first time, Mossad agents like Laura Loomer and Zionist propagandists, they're feeling pushback from the right for the first time. And they're having a hard time dealing with it. And guys, I will admit, this is my like hidden secret lust, like watching this MAGA civil war. You know what I mean? I've been obsessed.
Because we knew it was coming. Did we say it was coming? We predicted it. We said it was coming.
Like Laura Loomer and Nick Fuentes, they've been flaming each other. Like I've been watching this shit like, dude, this is glorious. Zionism is tearing apart the white supremacist community. Like it's great to see. So let me read the tweet. I've been hyping it for a while. A lot of right wingers LARP as America First. Because according to Laura Loomer, America First is when you support Israeli wars. And guys, she is having a full-fledged meltdown. I can do literally an hour on this segment.
More than usual for Laura, because she's always having a fucking meltdown. Let's be real, right? Bro,
she's having a meltdown compared to the usual. Like, bro, because she's not used to. Like, this is a critical time for Israel and Zionists to fight Iran. They've been preparing Americans to support this war for years, and they're seeing feedback from not just random MAGA accounts. I know we may laugh at Tucker Carlson's mealy mouth criticism, but that's still devastating to people like Laura Loomer. Like the fact that people like Nick Fuentes that's devastating.
Bro, he pissed. Nick Fuentes is pissed. He's like, this is fucking stupid. This is stupid. He literally said that Trump is being stupid. He's like, I'm seeing signs of mental decline. I'm like, damn. It's on and popping in MAGA crew. Like but it also shows you once again, because what we say, MAGA's an economy. And once the money can be hurt, because they see where everybody else is at, right? They're like, it's cool to be anti-Zionist now. So whatever Zionists do, it's cool to be against it now. Even if it's to support, to not support, or rather, a war against Iran. Even though they've been part of hyping up a war against Iran for so long. But they're like, well, shit, if America did it, but Israel started, so it's cool. We can be against it now.
Nick Fuentes so mad. They got him speaking in native Spanish. Dude, Nick Fuentes is so mad at Donald Trump's portrayal and the fact that he supported a fucking Zionist this whole time. I saw a clip someone sent to me where he's like, hey, man, I think we need to consider forming an alliance with the communists to take out the Jew. I'm like, dude, what? That's how mad he is. He was like, I think we need to start considering forming an alliance with the Marxists. I was like, I'm good because I'm not trying to organize with people who organize based on race. You know what I mean? Like, that's Nick Fuentes.
Especially whenever like you motherfucking Hispanic and you pretend like you're not. Like we ain't already your damn name, dog.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes, he organizes based on race. You know what I mean? He's an apologist for Hitler, and Hitler cracked down on unions and labor organizing. And we always know that fascists would join the state to crack down on labor in the working class. That's why you can never trust someone like Nick Fuentes. And even
though it's kind of weird because Nick and Laura Loomer, they parted ways on the protest too. He was like, they parted ways on the protest too. Because he was like, nah, they're going to fucking use this to push Palantir, so we can't buy into it.
Yeah, I did see a little bit of that.
So it's like, holy shit, bro. Like, this is not the take that I was expecting. But it's because, like, he's like, yeah, I want to. He's like, basically, Trump is interrupting his grift. Like, because he's going so fucking hard for the police state and the globalists that Nick can't engage in his normal race-based grift. Because, like, damn, bro, this is actually kind of a big problem. Like, this is beyond race, ain't it? Oh, you fucking think, you dumbass? Like we've been telling you.
Dude.
Yeah. It's bigger than race, bro. Yeah.
Dude, things are so weird right now. Like, I might get in trouble for even saying this, but there are these MAGA people who love Nick Fuentes who follows me because we had the same criticism of Zionism. And people will be like, hey, Nick, why don't you talk to Nick Fuentes? I'm like, guys, I don't want to talk to Nick Fuentes. I'm good, bro. I don't want to talk to a fucking fascist. I'm not interested. Yeah. But there's this contingent of these, and I'm asking you guys this question rhetorically. Like, do we as revolutionaries, do we as Marxists, do we have obligation not to reach out to Fuentes, because I think he's beyond the pale, but do we have an obligation to reach out to the people who are influenced by Nick Fuentes?
Oh, that I believe we do, probably.
Like, hell no. But dude, if we can pull some people away from the fascist pipeline because they oppose imperialism, because they're in this weird cross-section of these Nick Fuentes fans who fuck with, they're like, man, I want to get healthcare. I'm down with season media production. They just believe in some weird like race separation. They believe in a lot of shit that we find deplorable. So that's the question I'm asking for you guys rhetorically. Do we have an obligation to trying to win these people over for Nick Fuentes? It's something I've been thinking about.
I think that we actually do, because some of them didn't. They didn't choose to be over there. They just lost. They just was taking a stroll down the political street, and they found that's where they ended up at first. A lot of the times. I mean, I'm part of a group chat where somebody was like, "Yeah, man, I used to be a pro-Trump libertarian," until they became a communist leftist who hates the establishment. It's just because they ended up finding people like us. So like, the Nick Fuentes of the world, like I don't believe necessarily that Nick Fuentes is acting genuinely. I don't believe that he believes in a lot of the shit that he actually says, right? And I believe that about a lot of the major influencers. So I don't have to worry about them. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the other people who watch them, who a lot of the time are lurking. Like, man, okay, yeah, you starting to look a little bit inconsistent. And this guy consistently, he gets everything right that you get right, but the other points that he's making are also true based off of what we're seeing. And when you get the benefit of hindsight, like and we said it, bro, we whenever this Trump era is over, it's going to be hard for some of these influencers, dog. It's going to be hard for them. Because y'all can't rely on the Trump economy anymore, especially when y'all are not united. Because a lot of them boost each other. That's how they get to where they got. But when that separation from Candace and Ben over Israel was a huge warning sign of what's to come for MAGA people, right? Like, because Candace separated, and not for nothing, y'all, but a black woman. I don't give a damn conservative or not, because she's not only talking about politics, even in her new podcast. Like, she talks about day-to-day life shit with her family, her like being a mom, in the context of all like she's separated from a fucking Zionist Jewish power broker within this industry and is beating his ass. That's not small potatoes. And so in the next couple of years, we're going to have to do our best to continue to be as consistent as we are. And it's going to be hard work, and it's going to require patience, but the working class is right for the picking. It's just going to be who's willing to have that conversation and be patient and understanding of people's experiences and their backgrounds to reach out, have that conversation, and bring them over to the light. They're going to be there. Because look what the fuck is happening right now. Everybody's watching. When Ian Carroll you know why he's so mealy mouthed and got a two-step of what side he's picking? Because he said it. Oh, I could ratio somebody over Israel right now on Twitter. He knows. But he still got to kiss Trump's ass because he's trying to play both sides. Because he's still trying to, got to hold on the Trump economy. But what happens when that economy's done? Yes, I am.
So this will be my last presentation. I'm gonna go through this quickly. We can wrap up. So I was playing the Laura Loomer meltdown, and you guys said, why are these right wingers larp as American first? You can like almost damn near hear the tears going down her face as you type this. If you watch their content, they're cheering for Iran. How can you call yourself America first if you cheer for a regime that chants that to America? Why can't these people just be honest? And Niko, why can't they be honest with themselves? Why can't they just say they hate Jews? Why don't they say they don't like the Jews? This is the meltdown. Again, I can do a 40-minute segment on Laura Loomer's meltdown alone, but for the second time, this tweet sums it up because she is getting ratioed. Jesus Christ, bro.
Jesus.
Every tweet, especially after Israel bombed Iran, she's activated as a Mossad agent. So she's forced to tweet out stuff on behalf of Israel. That's the only thing you can use to explain why she's okay with this level of humiliation. Because if you look on her timeline, it's every tweet. She's never seen MAGA put back on her before. Anyway, let me wrap that up because I want to get to the next point as we short time. Any final thoughts on this, Niko, before I get to the last segment I want to do?
If you ever seen clips from her show, you notice that she has a Rumble thing because she's probably sponsored by Rumble. But it's also, everybody should remember who runs Rumble, who started Rumble. That was Peter Thiel. People forget, right? Like everybody forgot. Yeah, he was the first. That's why it's so right wing. And like he was making a transition over into the MAGA cult, probably to get the audience to push everything that he wants. Long before, because it's not like Laura Loomer is like cool or like whatever the fuck. Like, bro, she got like the big Rumble. Like Rumble is like funding everything for her, probably because she couldn't do it on her own because she's a fucking idiot. So, I mean, like, literally, like, look, and that tweet was, by the way, that tweet, bro, that shit was everywhere. Why don't you just admit that you fucking hate Jews? What?
Like, they always go to that. It's so low IQ. They have nothing else. Look, here it is. I found it. I saw this earlier, and this is what Laura Loomer reported on.
Oh,
look,
you see it?
Islamist terrorist cells operating across the United States, and she's saying how the jihadi operatives that are now going to be turned by Iran. And she calls Zoran, the guy running for New York. Dude, her whole timeline and her entire politics is pure.
Oh
chaos.
man, hey, let them listen to her talk. Just let them listen to her talk if you can. Like, I just want them to hear. Oh, by the way, did you see the little thing on her mic?
Because we have
The Rumble.
operatives in all 50 states now.
We have
Hezbollah.
I love how you can turn on a random part of any video she's saying. It will be the first.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a mod.
We have like Hezbollah, and she be saying this shit so casually. Like she said the most ridiculous shit so casually. Like, we have Hezbollah operatives in all 50 states for sure, confirmed.
I love how no matter what point you turn on, it's gonna be the. I just want to hear what she sounds like because I actually never listened to her. I was like, let me see what she sounds like. Of course, it's the fucking most batshit craziest thing ever. But let me share the last story I want to get to because I want to hear your thoughts on this. I know you got your family you want to get to. I don't want to get you in trouble, my brother. So here's the Democrats. How are the Democratic Party going to respond? Because we just roasted MAGA and how MAGA is a failed peace movement. It's a failed fraudulent movement designed to get disenfranchised white men back into the Republican establishment. So you have the situation where you can attack and expose Donald Trump on this. What is the Democrats saying right now? So they ask.
Democrats are really not saying anything. I mean,
Oh shit! Oh shit! The Democrats really aren't saying anything.
Nah, they was like, no, good. We good on this, bro. This is complicated.
Nah, that was too on the nose, Nick. That was too on the nose. Shut that one up too much. That was too good.
They're not even trying, bro. This is the opposition.
that the Democrats are really not saying anything. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries and Senator Schumer, no statements from them. I think that silence is deafening for many. Noted that the Democrats are.
Their silence is deafening. So I was looking at Bernie's account, and this motherfucker waited for like 40 plus hours. So these motherfuckers were sweating bullets, consulting their foreign policy advisor because they don't want to piss off their AIPAC handler. So how do you oppose Trump while not pissing your AIPAC handler? It's a hard-ass task. It's a task that many Dems are split on. So this is the resistance, Niko. This is the party that people are in the streets protesting for. Chuck Schumer, Dems are split on the response to Israeli attack. What do you mean you're split? And you wondering why you struggling with the entire generation? Nigga, this Iran's attack on Israel is our generation's moon landing. It united our entire generation.
Yeah, like ain't no way you saw them numbers. And it's like, bro, Thomas Massey, you saw the poll that he put out where it's like, do y'all support U.S. sending weapons and spending money to support Israel's war against Iran? They're like, no. It's, bro, a resounding fuck no, basically. And 100,000 plus in less than a day. And they're like, yeah, man, we're split on this. I don't know which way we should go, man. Which way should we? He just told you. He just gave you the whole clue. Gave you the answer to the test. But that's the Democrats. Nobody knows how to lose it better than the Democrats. That shit's crazy. And you know, it's funny. I did the same thing, Nick. I went to go to check Bernie's account. I went to go check AOC's. Like, because remember whenever Trump attacked Syria, their biggest complaint was what? He didn't get authorization from us first. Yeah. Wasn't that he attacked Syria, it was that he didn't get the authorization. In this particular case, you would think they would be even more pissed because Iran made it clear that they're going to attack U.S. military bases if the U.S. intervenes, and we still intervened. Yeah. And y'all ain't got nothing to say. Y'all in a room trying to figure out how to not, like, hey man, so like, do we support or not support World War III? What we on? Like, how we gonna figure it? Like, hold on. So y'all, half of the room is trying to figure out if y'all are on Trump's side or whatever. I don't know if you want to call it Trump's side at this point. Like, but I guess that effectively, because if they found out he was collaborating and lying and this entire time he had planned on launching on helping Israel target Iran and lower their guard, like that would mean you're trying to figure out a way how to like to be on Trump's side while not pissing off your Democratic voter base.
Yep.
That's what y'all discussing right now. Okay, so yeah, so I thought, based off of what happened last week, like damn man, Democrats actually might take back the House. Yeah, no, okay, nope. Y'all just
Democrats are now they're still wondering why they are historically unpopular. Like Trump is trying his best, as you said, as I said many times before. Trump, because their job is to maintain the duopoly, just like Nancy Pelosi says, she needs a strong Republican Party. Trump is giving the Democrats layups, bro. He is trying his best to revive the Democratic Party. He is giving these motherfuckers layups, and they are breaking them.
Wilt Chamberlain alley-oops, cuz. Giving them Wilt Chamberlain alley-oops, cuz. On 5A white boys. Just
bro,
tap it in.
You've never seen dimes like these before, bro. Imagine if Kareem was dropping those magic dimes, bro. That's what Gibbs is doing right now. Like
in practice.
How you can expose Trump as being a hypocrite on his anti-war pledge, failed to end these wars. Meanwhile, instead, Democrats saying, I actually condemn that Trump. I'm actually glad that Trump is actually providing Ukraine with more aid. I actually agree with him on that.
So,
I
Nick,
agree with them to go hard on Iran. So right now, Democrats are split. And I'm gonna quickly say this, Niko, I'll give you the last word.
No, go ahead.
So here's Democrats are split, and then mostly they're saying that Israel has the right to defend themselves, but they don't think that Israel should have launched these unprovoked attacks on Iran. The same kind of script, the fake resistance. So I'm looking at I'm thinking like, bro, you already know that Bernie Sanders is gonna come out with some fucking cringe. You already know Bernie Sanders and AOC
we just waiting for it.
Lab cooking. So I'm like, dude, here it is. Bernie Sanders finally came out with his tweet. He was advising Matt Duss. They was in the lab cooking for a while. So this is what he came up with. Talks to address Iran's nuclear program were planned for Sunday. Instead, Netanyahu launched illegal strikes on Iran, killing top ceasefire negotiator, undermining U.S. diplomatic efforts and putting countless innocent lives at risk. We can't be dragged into another Netanyahu war. So when I first read his tweet, my reaction was a little bit better than I thought it was going to be honest. Like, not as bad as I thought.
Not horrible.
But you have to remember, this is what I tweeted. And you guys know I'm always clapping Bernie. I can easily get a K on Bernie if I want to. I got 5K here. Because I have to remind Bernie, because I don't think this is the best statement. Do you guys think it's the best? I don't think that's the worst statement ever. It's not a great statement.
No, but he refused to mention Israel.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. He doesn't mention Israel. It's the same. To me, this is a typical progressive accept Palestine liberal Zionist tweet. To me, Bernie's tweet, there's nothing really newsworthy about it. It's like, that's kind of very conservative. But I have to remind people that Israel is emboldened by people like Bernie. When Israel says stuff like Israel has the right to defend itself, you enabled this, Bernie. When you repeat that talking point, you enabled. But Niko, I'll give you last thought. We can wrap up here. I just wanted to do the last segment on the Democrats before you leave. So I can give you final thoughts before we wrap up.
Before I address that Bernie tweet, so I was watching the CNN clip, and so these motherfuckers it was 3 of them, and they were trying to figure out like the anti-Trump, pro-Israel talking point while still trying to be anti-Iran and anti-nukes, and the confusion amongst them. So what's the black girl's name from CNN? I can't remember her name. But she was trying to explain that Trump was running on being the peace candidate, that he lied to his base, that his base fell for it. Not all of them, but a lot of them did. She even brought the fact that like Steve Bannon is kind of breaking ranks with him. He's like, yeah, Israel has the right to be Israel first, but America needs to be America first. Like, that's what we need to be focused on. Let them fend for themselves, like things like that. So she was trying to call the contradiction within Trump and what he has said, what he ran on, and what he's doing. And then like she passes the question on to them. They then start focusing on, well, he didn't do enough to help Israel. We need to do more. If he says he's pro-Israel, then he needs to da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, hold up, what? Then this other guy comes around. Iran's nuclear program is a problem, and they're not living in reality. We have to blah, 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 blah. I'm like, hold on, did y'all hear what she asked y'all? She's like explaining to y'all, like, he ran on being anti-war. He's not being anti-war, pro-peace. He said he's going to, like, she even started, then she brought it back. It's like, oh, well, let me bring it back in. Okay. So remember when he was like, we're going to end the war in 24 hours in Ukraine? Still hasn't happened. And then this guy comes in and he can't even bring himself to say that Russia invaded Ukraine. I'm like, are y'all motherfuckers having 3 different conversations? Because she's trying to bring out the contradictions in what he said about being a pro-peace candidate. And these are liberals, bro. Going on there like, he's not being enough of a warmonger, and he promised he would be. Like, I'm so confused. Y'all didn't have a group discussion, a production meeting, a Democratic Party like powwow before y'all decided to get on this camera and have 3 different conversations? Because it's like they prepared the notes, and I guess they thought that she was going to go after Iran in their nuclear program, or be pro-Israel rather. And instead, she was like, well, I'm going to go after Trump because that's something we can all agree on. Except for they were all agreeing to go after Trump, and it made no sense whatsoever. And I'm like, this is the Democratic Party. This is the perfect example of the Democratic Party and why they will probably lose. Because y'all only can agree on the fact that you are not supposed to like Trump. And y'all can't even figure out why I don't like Trump, because half the shit that he does, y'all actually support.
Yep. The resistance.
And as far as Bernie's concerned, like, bro, like, yeah, nah, hey, Nick will get a quick 1,000 off a ratio off Bernie, bro. I ain't never, it'd be fast as shit too, bro. It'd be like 15 minutes.
I get a K on Bernie. I got 5K on that one because Bernie's rhetoric enables Israel's actions. But go ahead, Niko.
But that whole, like, why do y'all keep saying Israel has a right to defend itself? Like, first of all, I don't really care. But second of all, how is being offensive? So if Israel has a right to defend itself because you believe they're a sovereign nation that has that right, then the same applies to Iran, right? Because it was Iran that attacked first. It's Israel that has a nuclear weapon. Everything that y'all claim Iran is guilty of, once again, it's actually Israel. But even worse, because Iran has never lied about their nuclear capabilities. And when they made the announcement that they were going to increase their enrichment in response to Trump removing the USA out of the JCPOA, and then sanctioning them, they made an announcement. They actually waited a year before enriching to give the U.S. a chance to mend the relationship. Then made an announcement and made it clear, yeah, we're gonna enrich more. Fuck y'all. Like, okay, we're still not making nuclear weapons though, and never lied about it. And then the U.S. Intelligence Committee comes out and is like, yeah, bro, we don't got no proof that they're making anything like that. And they still, after all of that, you know, we're in 2025 now. They're like, yeah, man, Israel has a right to defend itself. What? Like, bro, it is like being in an abusive relationship. Why'd you make me do this? That's what Israel, why'd you make me hit you? It's so wild, dog.
Thank you for sticking in there with me. This is a great 2-hour Saturday chill rant stream, my brother. I want to do a show with me, you, and David from Hospital one day.
Bro, we need to. That should happen this week. We need to try to make that shit happen this week, dog. We got to try to make that shit happen this week. We need to.
I had David on the RBN, I think 2 times before. Dude, David, it's fire, man. He's right for West Africa Weekly, I believe, as well. Bro,
he's a co-founder.
Yeah, banger after banger on Hotspot. So I wanted to do a show some more of the Hotspot videos that you guys did. I didn't have time though. But I was like, all right, let's do a roundtable, maybe a Hotspot.
Bro, we need to. We need to.
So we need to hit David up. That would be a banger, bro. Me, you, and David, an hour. That'd be a banger ass show. Hotspot live stream. Niko, what's coming up with you? I end here because we 2 hours. I really do gotta go. Very fun show for the weekend. I did see the news, by the way. Haifa got struck by Iran as well. The Iron Dome is being exposed. I've seen the clips on Twitter. I don't want to show them because I don't want to. Because that will get you in trouble on YouTube. Especially because a lot of people, and I know you guys seen it as well, they take advantage of the fog of war. There's been a lot of bullshit on the timeline, like people posting fake news, so you gotta be very careful. But yeah, so right now Israel's still on fire. Like Israel hitting oil refineries in Israel, and this is great. So It's gonna be a long
Hey,
weekend.
Hold it down for gang, man. Hey, hold it down for gang, Iran. We appreciate y'all, dog.
I hit you up though, Niko. We definitely do gotta do that though. We gotta hit
For sure. For sure. I'm really free. Like Monday, I'm gonna be a little bit busy, but like Tuesday through Friday, if we plan it right, yeah, I can make it.
I think Friday will be a good
We
day.
need to make it happen, honestly. Because this shit ain't about to stop tomorrow. There ain't no chance that this shit about to stop tomorrow. Like Netanyahu is in Greece, guys. Like that to me signals he doesn't like, even if like the Trump administration at some point realized like this is actually a problem and you need to stop. Like that's it, because usually they go one for one, like blow for blow, and they stop, right? That Israel, but he doesn't leave the country when they do that. You feel me? He's in Greece. This is a fact. That means he's like launch. Hey man, y'all said elections are when? Ha, not today, bitch. Launch. So yeah, we need to do a hotspot between us three, because I believe by Wednesday it's about to get crazy. Like I said, UK is sending out military assets. US is intercepting. Iran's already made it clear they're going to respond. So I want to see what happens after Iran responds, and if the Trump administration is actually going to put a boot on BB's neck, not because they don't want to but they're like, yo, hold up, listen, man, this sounds like we gonna be picking up the check again. This is what that sounds like. And if that's the case, you got to pick a war, my guy. Pick one. Jesus Christ. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna see. But yeah, man, follow us on Hotspot. Follow me on For the People Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at Real Niko House.
Yeah.
And on Instagram at Real Niko House. Shout out to Nick, man. He finally got on goddamn Instagram and posted his hotspots on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm a boomer at heart. I finally get on other social medias. I don't know how people do it, man. It's tough. But
it's a lot, ain't it?
It's a lot of work. The TikToks, I'm so confused by it. But Dr. Sabrina, it took me forever, dude. I remember I'm kind of always been old school hard. Like even during the era of MySpace. You remember, when I grew up in high school, it took people a lot of work to get me to sign up for that back then. You know what I mean? Like I was late. Like I was the motherfucker that had. I all right. I guess I'm in high school now. I'm trying to get on some chicks, so let me get on Facebook. I only got on Facebook. I'm like, bro, I have to do that in order to meet. Anyway, that's a story for another day.
My girlfriend made me did it. She was like, "Why aren't you on MySpace?" I'm like, I didn't know it was a requirement. Yeah. Like, because they basically want to spy on me. Like, you need to post our pictures so everybody can know that you're my boyfriend.
Dude, I was a Facebook holdout for a long time, dude. I made it until 2012, and I only did it because it's a story for another day. But you can only find amateur fights on Facebook, and I had a fight. There was an organization called Vulcan Fights. I will never forget it. And I messaged the promoter on Vulcan Fights on Facebook. I don't think they exist no more. And I had to message him in order to confirm my fight. And that's the reason why I created my Facebook. That's a funny story. That's my first amateur fight is the reason why I eventually ended up making a Facebook. But that's a story for another day. I might tell you guys that full story one day. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. This is a 2-hour stream, so you guys will be in for a while because I know you guys will be watching on replay. Dr. Sabrina coming next week, and hopefully we will get that hotspot live. Maybe something on Friday.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your weekend. Take care, guys.